We have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center.
Obviously, a major fire there, and there has been some sort of explosion. We don't fully know the details.
A plane has crashed into the side of the World Trade Center.
Smashed directly, perhaps purposefully, into, oh my goodness.
Oh God.
There's another one.
Somebody is doing this on purpose.
I remember 9/11 very well. I was actually living in Virginia at the time, and I actually worked in Manassas, which was outside of Washington, D.C., and I was working at home that day, and I saw it on the news, and my mother, who's a news reporter at the time, called me up immediately and was freaking out because my stepfather was actually working right near the Pentagon at that moment. And once that happened and we didn't know anything and everybody was just scrambling, I ended up running to get my son, who's now a senior ET student, out of daycare because we were afraid that we were under attack, and living in Virginia, just outside of Richmond with a huge military base, nobody knew what was going on, and there was this huge line of people trying to get their kids out of daycare. And I got home and we were watching on the news, and I just remember staring at the building and the screaming at the TV set for the reporters to get away from the building, because as an engineer with that kind of heat, I just knew immediately it was going to fall at any moment. And of course it did. And fortunately, we did finally get a hold of my stepfather because all of the cell phones and everything were out. My mother was freaking out, panicking like every 5 minutes, asking if she had, if I had heard anything. Fortunately, he was okay. They ended up being caught in the hotel because they couldn't get out because all the streets and everything were blocked because of the attack on the Pentagon. But that's where I was at, and that's my biggest memory.
Associated Press is reporting that it was a plane that crashed at the Pentagon, and the Pentagon is being evacuated.
As the towers fell, I was at the gym, at the Conway Hospital gym, and my first reaction was the people that I knew who worked in New York City, and I started making phone calls, and I called a friend of ours whose husband works in Wall Street, and she could not contact him, and it was very stressful for a long time. I think the most poignant thing that I remember is a picture from the train station from Chatham, New Jersey, and this is where people drive to the train station, hop on leave their cars, and then hop on the train. And the picture was taken at 11 o'clock at night, and that's usually empty. Everybody's come home, gotten their cars and gone home, and that night the picture was, the count was 17 cars still remaining in the parking lot. It was very poignant. That's what I remember.
The whole side has collapsed?
The whole building has collapsed.
The whole building has collapsed?
The building has collapsed.
I remember exactly where I was. I was at Seaside Elementary School, which is a school down in Garden City. I was on a specialized team, which we did a lot of community type reading things, and we were able to go like every Tuesday and go to schools and read to the kids. And I remember in the library, that's back, the technology was a little bit different than it is now, but they had it on in the library, and I was actually we saw the first one get hit, and I was able to actually see the second one hit, and then it took a couple of minutes, and then we actually saw it fall. And I think that's when it really hit me that this wasn't an accident, that this was something serious, and it hit home for all of us there at the school. They weren't even officers, but all the adults. We realized that we were under attack.
And then we saw smoke coming out, and everybody started running out, and we saw the plane on the other side of the building, and there was smoke everywhere, and people are jumping out the windows. Over there, they're jumping out the windows, I guess, because they're trying to save themselves.
I was actually sitting in the ET classroom when I heard about 9/11 with my students, and it was difficult at the time trying to figure out what was going on. But now looking back, at 9/11 and thinking about what all it meant, I think the one thing that struck me more than anything else was the fact that we all came together as a country, as a nation, against one common enemy. And I think more than anything else, that is what we should remember about that particular day.